I still use my Vera Plus home automation controller. Yeah, I think I started with a Vera Lite about 15 years ago, and then I transitioned to a Vera Plus, and I've been using that quite a bit. For instance, down here I have my solar diversion load controller running. Of course, it's evening now, so it's not doing anything, but that still runs every day. I have some motion sensor lights that turn on and off. So yeah, some years ago, the Vera Mios, My Casa Verde, whatever the company was called, was acquired by Ezlo. And they've been hosting the Vera or Mios.com cloud service that the Vera Home Automation Controller uses to do various things, like it gets the time, the weather. Anyway, just recently, Ezlo has started putting out these messages. So Ezlo sent out this message, about a week ago. Your Vera controller runs on the cloud, and Ezlo is hosting that. They put out a message a while back saying that they had upgraded their system and made it better and all of that. And now plans starting from $2.50 a month. I think that's the yearly plan. So it's like $29.95 if you buy subscription for the whole year. Yeah, so I ran across this Vera Cloud Decoupler Recoupler. This was put out in 2021 by the same guy that does the toggled bits. I think his name on username was Rig Papa. I don't know if he's still active on the Ezlo site or how that all works, but he was basically a private developer, and he put out this Vera Decouple script, and you can see here it talks about what it does. Like I say, I ran across this maybe a year or so ago and thought, well, that might be kind of a neat thing, because one of the problems I've run into is periodically, like if the network goes down, my Vera has trouble getting time updates, and it doesn't get, for instance, the daytime, day and night notifications, which I think are based on some sort of network time server. So that's what got me interested in doing this. Although that only happens once every year or so, it wasn't that big a deal, and I never really looked into it. That notice from Ezlo got me thinking about doing this again, and so here he talks about what you need to do to install this. So you have to make sure that everything's set up. You've got the latest or the last software update, which was several years ago. They haven't updated anything for quite a while. Yeah, so here's the instructions on how to do this. You copy over his scripts, unzip the files on your Vera, and then you have to edit the files. And what I decided to do instead was pull those files over to my Synology NAS, which I'm going to use as the server to do all this. I've already got an NTP network time server running on my NAS. Likewise, I set up a DNS server, and then I enabled FTP so you can do the backups, because the Vera uses FTP for backups. He has a configuration file that you edit, and what I did was I just went in and edited that file on my Synology NAS in the web server, what they call their personal web server folder, so that I don't have to go grab the files off of GitHub. I can just grab them off of my NAS, and I've already pre-edited the files, so I don't have to type everything in. I can just copy and paste things. So I just basically went in and took the NTP server, and I used his example settings, and then I just put my Synology NAS IP address first. I'm going to turn off the weather, because he has this keep Mios weather, and I'm not sure if I actually use that. So part of what I want to do is turn all this stuff off, and I've got about a month to play with it, see if anything breaks, and if I don't miss not having connection to the Vera cloud in the next month, well, I don't set up a yearly subscription, basically. And one of the things he says in here is that you won't have remote access. You won't be able to upload your logs to the cloud service. Some of the pages, like your location and firmware updates, aren't going to work. Yeah, so I think I have everything here. The unit is registered through the getvera.com. Location is set. I'm running the last update firmware that was made available. Yeah, so what you need to do is fire up your favorite tool. Here's Putty. So I log into my Vera Plus. So you use Putty, you use the SSH configuration with your IP address, and then you log in as root, R-O-O-T, and then your password will be a sticker on the bottom of the unit. Will have the default root password, or whatever you've changed the root password to. And I just have everything in a text file, so I can just go over here and we'll do a paste. Ah, there we go. Look at that. So I copied over my file, and then I'll just go over here. I'll paste in the next command. Oh, unzip. Maybe I need to redo my zip file. Okay, I tried a few things with unzip, invalid zip magic, and it seems like it's some issue with the version of unzip that's in their version of Linux. Possible fixes and workarounds. I tried this, but the Vera doesn't seem to include that command, and so instead of doing that, what I did, there's only 3 files. Got the decouple shell script, the recouple shell script, and those you don't touch. And the only one you actually edit is the decouple-config.sh. So I think we're ready to go. So let's run this decouple.sh. So I'll do that. So we'll go over here and we'll do file paste. Unexpected. Look at that file here, see what's going on. Okay, I think somehow having my files on a web server using the syntax that was in the Vera Decouple GitHub page, I guess that was probably using some sort of different transfer, who knows what it was doing. But what I was finding was the shell scripts that I copied over were HTML. They weren't ASCII text. And so what I did was I changed the curl command to a curl-O, and then you just put the full IP address and directory and the file name in there, and then it will save a local copy of that. You can do an ls. Now I've got these reasonably sized shell scripts. Before I was getting these huge HTML code with who knows what in there. Yeah, so now I've got like a bin sh and the decouple.sh file. Everything's there. And then I also did a chmod plus x, so I made the shell scripts executable. I don't know if that was specifically needed or not. Let's see if we can do this now. So I'll just do that to make sure I get that one. Yeah, because his instructions are to use the nano editor. So I guess he loads nano for you. That's assuming you need to edit the files, but I've already edited them. So I'm going to go yes. Ready to go. Decouple from Vera Ezlo Cloud. Yes. Resetting. There's my Synology NAS IP. Okay, we're done. Fbin reboot. And my Vera is rebooting. Oh, looks the same, I guess. Yeah, there's all your things. There's a few less lights on the Vera. So yeah, anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just leave this. So far I don't see anything that's different, so I'll see what happens in the morning, like if the daytime comes up. That's like one of the things I use is sunrise and sunset. So we'll have to see if that works. Yeah, here's day or night, so it's got nighttime. Tomorrow at sunrise, does it switch over to daytime? And then I use some of these other weather plugins, but most of them don't work anymore. So yeah, anyway, I'll have to see if anything is weird or breaks or stops working, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, I'll post updates if anything happens and I decide to go back to the Vera Cloud setup. Then I'll also try to do a short video on the setup I did on the Synology NAS. Show you what that looks like if you're interested. So, as always, thanks for watching.